A very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the deep dive. Great to see you all. I hope you're all having a lovely day. I'm looking at the comments, lots of people working hard. Some people's brains are turning to jelly. Hi, Kit Kat. And Julie's got writer's block. We'll see if we can get things moving for you. Hello, Sue and Michael. Liz watched a fun video today about Bach and artificial intelligence. Fantastic. Ruth's got a day off today. Fabulous. Lisa's asking if everyone's got their oxygen tanks filled. Well, hopefully today hopefully won't be quite as deep. We're going to make it a slightly shallower dive today. We're going to be looking at the basics of rhythm. And so I've got what I think anyway, are some fun games to play. We'll have a look and see if we can get some those of you who have never really been taught the basics of rhythm. We'll be looking at some of that today. And of course, all in the context of that glorious bit of Talis yesterday. Hope you really enjoyed that. I've had some lovely messages from people who had lots of fun singing yesterday. Of course, it wasn't supposed to be Talis. It was supposed to be Haydn. And there were all sorts of technical problems. But it's worked out, I think, rather well. We've got this lovely piece all about light. O nata lux de lumine, O light born of light. What a lovely piece to sing. So who's here? Hello, Jill, and hello, Lisa. Hello. Hello, Norb. So many ladies, says Norb. What a shame, eh? Hello, Diane and George. Julie's writing an application, hang on, missed that, for a graduate diploma programme. Oh, where I work, it's about me essentially. Oh, can I help write it? Can you submit it in GIF form is the question, Julie. Okay, and if not, do you really want to study there? I mean, if they won't accept an application purely in GIF form, and it's not a place I'd necessarily want to lend my name to. Just saying. But all the best, all right? And remember, when you're writing about yourself, and this is a piece of advice that was given to me by a very, very dear friend of mine. He said, when you're writing about yourself, he said, don't forget to say all the things that you do. Don't forget to blow your own trumpet, he said, because nobody will do it for you. So if you're writing about yourself, be honest, including about all the good bits. So, how is everybody? Michael has sent some lovely pictures. In fact, whilst we're waiting, I've put some questions up here on screen, as you can see. These questions here. And this is just something to have a little bit of a think about before we get started. To you, and you don't have to write in the comments, just have a think. If I were to ask you, in a very relaxed and non-confrontational manner, we're not at... Notice I'm not wearing glasses, I'm not looking over you and saying, you there, tell me the differences between these words. If you could have just a gentle chat with somebody, with a friend who you trusted, and if they asked you, what's the difference between pulse and beat and rhythm and tempo, what would your understanding be now at the start of the session? And we'll see how you're feeling at the end of the session. And if you're sitting there, I've no idea. Pulse, I think I've got one. Beat, I mean, fine. Absolutely fine. But so just hold those words in your head. I just want to share with you some photos that dear Michael has sent to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've heard all about it. But here is Lytham St Anne's, everyone. And so some gorgeous, gorgeous pictures here, which Michael has sent us. Thank you so much, Michael. What a lovely place you live in. I presume this stately pile is yours. I'm sure you'll let us know. It's a nice view. I think the lawn needs a bit of work, Michael, but... No, absolutely wonderful. Thank you for sending those to us. It's very clear you live in a beautiful part of the world. I love the sunset picture here over what I assume. Is that the station? So, in fact, what I'll do, I'll make this slightly bigger. Let's have a look at this. Oh, no, that's St Anne's Pier. So there we go. There's St Anne's Pier with the taxi rank. And this is one I absolutely love here of the windmill. Hang on, I'm just going to bring that forward. Bear with me a second, everybody. Can't get the staff, you know. To the front. There we go. Right, and there's the windmill. How's that? Isn't that lovely? So thanks so much, Michael. If any of you out there want to send us some photos of the place in the world in which you call home, please do send them to us. We will share those. We've had some photos recently. Had a lovely sunset sent to us from Anna. Jill in Thailand sent us some lovely photos of what I assume is the view out of the front of her house. And of course, we've had these lovely photos of Lytham St Anne's from Michael. So let us know. Send us some photos and we'll share them with everybody. So, goodness me, it's all picking up. Lovely pictures, Michael. Lisa says, beautiful. So want to be there. Absolutely. And who else is here? My goodness, lots of people. Norb is asking, does the copyright issue burden you and Mark even in your plans for next year? It's a really good question, Norb. So this is just with the self-isolation choir hat on very briefly, and I'll just put my... Sorry, Michael. Lovely pictures. So let's put this back on. So with the self-isolation choir hat on, the copyright issue that we've faced with Elijah is a slightly strange one, because YouTube is designed to automatically pick up copyrighted tracks and apportion the various money where it needs to go. They've got no reason to block the tracks. As it turned out, they only blocked one track, and it was "It Is Enough." All the choir tracks are fine. But what Mark and I have decided to do is make sure that whenever we start a project, like the Mozart Requiem, for example, that the recording is ready, and we use that all the way through. So we won't be singing along to commercial recordings after Elijah. This will be the last one. And everything going forwards will be produced for us in-house. Some of the pieces will be recorded by Fieri, some will be recorded by Recordari, some of them will be recorded, ladies and gentlemen, by the choir of Ben. So we're going to have a wide range of experiences. I say the choir of Ben, I'm going to treat it like the Onata Lux, and so I'll sing tenor and bass, a bit of alto, and then we'll get a soprano to do the top line. It might be Anna, might be Lucy or Hannah from Fieri. So that's the plan, Norb, and that is, don't hold me to it because it might all change, but in order so we don't get clobbered by copyright, the plan is that Self-Isolation Choir will produce all their own material going forwards, which is very exciting. So thank you for that question. And who else is here? Hello, Karen and Colette. Lovely to see you. Oh, great stuff. No, Kit Kat is... Right, let's just have a look at these comments. So Kit Kat's answers, everybody, okay? For those of you watching years and years and years from now, for posterity. So Kit Kat's definition of a pulse is my beating heart. Quite right. Or a steady sound repeated the same. Beat, what I want to do to the neighbours. I like that. Rhythm, what people are meant to do in playing together. Yeah, okay. And tempo, a possible thermometer reading. Beautifully done, Kit Kat. Thank you. Thank you for coming, everybody, to the deep dive. All answered. Kit Kat's. I yield the remainder of my time to my colleague. No, wonderful stuff. It's going to be lots of exciting developments today. I think lots of exciting new information for some of you. Even those of you who know all of this stuff, I think there'll be some things today that you'll have learnt by the end of the session. Not least what the various durations of notes are called in various languages, which has been a bit of a revelation for me. So I've learnt something new today, which is always very nice. So who else is here? Julie's... Oh, hello, Breda. Lovely to see you. Hello, Gwyneth. Yes, I'm sorry I missed the Zoom chat. I was hoping to come along today. And do please look at Kit Kat's emails. This is going to sound really... I was being interviewed, and this is happening more and more, which is lovely. But I'm just sort of trying to get set up, and the phone goes, and it's, hello, I'm ringing from, as it was this morning, BBC Manchester. Have you got 5 minutes? And an hour and a half later, we finished the chat. And tomorrow, I'm talking to somebody in Birmingham. These are all UK, by the way. I haven't been called by Birmingham, Alabama yet. But you never know. And Breda and Julie are talking about their cottage. Oh, fabulous. Hello, Kathy. Have a lovely flute lesson. Hello, Morgan Fiona. Good to see you as well. Oh, fabulous. Thank you, Anna, for encouraging people to hit the like button. Always appreciated. And if you aren't subscribed, folks, please do consider hitting subscribe. We're very slowly ticking up. We're at 2,440 as of this broadcast, which is great. When I get to that 3,000 mark. All right. I'll tell you what, if we get to 2,000, when we get to 2,500, which hopefully should be soon-ish, I will share something. It won't be the baby photos. Baby photos at 3,000, but yeah, there'll be a little treat for 2,500. So if you're out there, folks, you haven't subscribed, do consider just that little red button. Click it. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps us. So do consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Fabulous. Hello, Judith and Patrick. Thank you, Jane. Lovely to see you. Hello, Alan as well. Hello, Helen. Fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Biddy. That's good. The likes are ticking up. 53 people online and 31 likes. That's not bad. That's not bad. Any better? That'd be much appreciated. So I'm going to have my sip of drink. And so just as we're getting ready, we're just talking about this question here. what are the differences between these terms? And this is a question that I would ask secondary school students when they get to school. If I was teaching them in year 7, so that would be 11, 12 years old, I would ask them, what's the differences between these terms? And I'd get all sorts of responses, as I'm sure you'd imagine. I'd get very thoughtful responses. I get lots of written responses. I get lots of everything. And I'm sure you're all feeling the same. There's a wide range of responses out there to this question. I suppose the thing to bear in mind is, what do these words mean outside of music to you as well? It's often quite a lot of similarity. So pulse, if this wasn't a musical word, if you were just told what is pulse, how would you define that? And similarly, tempo, where have you heard that before, aside from in the context that we've just been said by Kit Kat, or indeed tissues. Here in this country, Tempo is a brand of tissues you blow your nose with. So not that necessarily. Hello, Charlotte. Lovely to see you. And hello, Leslie and Graham. My goodness, lots of lovely people. Glennis is asking for another kilt photo. There is only the one photo of the kilt, and you've seen it. So no, I'm afraid there are no more photos of me in the kilt. It was a very special occasion. As I said, it was my best man's wedding, and he's Scottish, so we all had to wear kilts. A very breezy day. Actually, I will tell you something. But one reason that's a particularly special memory is the day before that photograph was taken, Anna and I discovered that we were pregnant with Katie. I say we, obviously Anna was pregnant with Katie. And so the smile in that photo of me with the kilt is very much a smile of, oh my God, I'm going to be a dad soon. Fast forward 12 years nearly. No, it's over 12 years since that photograph was taken. Goodness me. Time flies, does it not, ladies and gentlemen? Speaking of which, we are about to start. So can I invite you to make sure that you have everything you need for the session? If you want to do any writing, you're very, very welcome to. I'd love to mark it, he lied. But if you want to keep score and make notes, that's absolutely fine. Of course, this is all recorded for you. And folks, if you have any specific questions about anything I talk about or anything we haven't covered and you'd like to cover it at some point, then drop me a line. Send me an email to ben@homechoir.uk, and you know what, I'll just add that to this slide just now, just for those who are watching later on. ben@homechoir.uk. And I will do my best to answer those questions. I mean, sometimes I can answer them easily. Sometimes I might need to refer you to somewhere else. But please let me know if you're out there suffering and you want a little bit of help with musical definitions. So a very, very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Home Choir's Deep Dive. This is our weekly show where we put the singing to one side for a little bit and we look in a little bit more depth at the nuts and bolts. How is this all put together? And how is music constructed? So if you're here for a good sing, I'm afraid we're not going to be singing today. You want yesterday's video where we learnt Onata Looks by Talis. Today we're looking at the fundaments and the rudiments really of rhythm. And I'm going to say to you, everybody, I'm going to say rhythm has your two hips moving. And I'm going to say that again. Rhythm has your two hips moving. And because rhythm has your two hips moving, and you're going to say that with me again, say it, rhythm has your two hips moving. If you can remember that, you'll always be able to spell rhythm correctly. Okay, rhythm, R, has, H, your, Y, 2, T, hips, H, moving, M. Okay, we've been talking before the session about this question here on screen. What are the differences between these terms? And so I'm going to answer these now very roughly, and by the end of the session hopefully this will make a little bit more sense. So what are the differences between these terms? This is what I would say to students sat in front of me. The pulse is the heartbeat of the music, and of course we all have a pulse, hopefully. Okay, and if you feel your pulse, hopefully it should be a fairly consistent pulse. If you're there and it's going, then you might want to seek medical help and or the help of a jazz bandmaster. But it should just be a steady pulse without any strong beats or any weak beats. It should just be a consistent heartbeat, and the pulse of the music is that heartbeat. it doesn't have any strength. It is just a pulse that's going along, and you can't say for certain where the first beat, second beat, third beat of the bar are. That is the pulse, okay? And the key thing to remember when it comes to rhythm and reading music and following music is that pulse continues, okay? Unless you're told otherwise, unless you see an instruction saying pause, slow down, speed up, that pulse will continue at the same pace until you're told otherwise, okay? That's a really important aspect. Now the beat is the repeated note value of the time signature. So this little rhythm at the bottom here, which we'll have a go at clapping in a minute, this is a 4/4 time signature, and so the beat is basically that pulse broken up into 4 beats at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. And you might have a slightly stronger beat at the start of each bar to indicate that. You don't have to, but often you'll play it that way. So pulse continues all the way through. Beat is starting to now break that pulse up into repeated chunks as according to the time signature. Rhythm refers to the duration of the notes. Okay, so we have notes written here at the bottom, and we'll be looking very shortly as to what all these notes mean, how long they last, and so on. But this is literally just a measure of duration. That's what these little, sometimes they're white with a line, sometimes they're black with a line, sometimes they've got extra lines. All of that is just to indicate how long the note should last. And then if you put more than one note with another, you have a rhythm. Okay, a note on its own is not a rhythm, but a note with others to a pulse is a rhythm. So pulse, the heartbeat, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No distinct beat. Then the beat breaks it up into chunks. The rhythm is the duration of the notes played to the beat, and then finally tempo is how fast it goes. How fast is the pulse? Okay, have you run around the block a few times? In which case 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you just got up 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, so this is really the heart of today's session, and we'll be referring a lot to these terms as we go through. Now, at the bottom of this slide here, I've got just a nice little tune here, and we're not going to worry about the pitches. We're just going to have a look here at the rhythm, and I'm going to clap it for you now. Now, some of you out there will be perfectly happy clapping this rhythm. Others of you, this will be the first time or one of the first times that you've done this, and I'm not going to ask you to clap along. I'm just going to ask you to follow along, okay? Now, we read music, as I'm sure you know, from left to right, and so the pulse will be going on all the way through. We have 4 bars of 4/4, so that means we have a total number of beats here in these 4 bars. 4 times 4, 16 beats, broken up into 4 groups of 4. Okay, so the beat is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, and so on. Okay, so our rhythm, I'll give you a bar of pulse first. 1, 2, it goes 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now, as I said, some of you will have been perfectly happy clapping along with that. Others of you, your eyes are already spinning. We'll come back to this slide at the end of the session, see how we get on. Okay, so let me just have a quick look at the comments before we zoom on and just check everybody's happy. Fantastic. So Liz is saying, define each of these terms by using one of the others. Yes. Well, that is that's one of the tricky things about music. But yes, pulse, heartbeat, beat is how many beats or how many pulses in a bar. Then the rhythm is how long the notes last, and finally tempo is how fast it all moves. So let's talk about how this is represented in music, and I'm just going to bring up another slide here. Now, I hope you can see this. It is a little bit on the small side. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger as I just look at the screen. I'm going to move the Italian, French and Spanish definitions off the screen for now. Apologies to anyone here for us, so we can see it perhaps a little bit more clearly. That should be a little bit better. Okay, so these are the very, very, very basic descriptions of these symbols. So you'll see these symbols throughout music. Okay, these indicate duration. And I want to talk first of all about this one here, the black note with the straight line attached to it. Now this represents a single beat, okay? A single beat. In English, let's say in the UK, we call this note a crotchet. In America, it's a quarter note. In German, as we can see here, Viertel, and so on. Now, I know there are Americans out there say, well, why don't you call it a quarter note? The reason we don't call it a quarter note over here is that sometimes you get more or fewer than four of these notes in a bar. So if you have 3 quarter notes in a bar, it doesn't quite make sense. So over here we call it a crotchet. And if I refer to a crotchet, those of us in the States, I'm interested here actually in Canada. What do they call these notes in Canada? Breeder, Julie, somebody out there, let us know. Okay, but this indicates a single beat. So if the pulse is 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd have 4 of these notes in a bar. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're just going to have a quick look here at a rhythm. I'm going to bring this up on screen, hopefully. Will this work? It will. Marvellous. It's a bit big, so bear with me a second. And I'm going to put that up there. Where's my nice card? Where's the one I wanted to show you? These are all a bit complicated. Let's start with this one here. Okay, so ignoring these for now, this note here is a beat, and so is a single beat. And so if our pulse went 1, 2, 3, 4, we would clap a single note on the second beat and on the fourth beat. So we'll come back to this in a minute. So that's a crotchet. That's a single beat. Now down here below it, this is a quaver, and a quaver is worth half a beat. Okay. In America they call this an eighth note, Achtel in German. Okay, so if our pulse is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got 4 crotchets, 1, 2, 3, 4, then we have twice as many quavers, because you can fit 2 of those into the space of 1. And let me just show you what that would look like on my slide here. So we can see here we've got 4 crotchets is the same as 8 quavers here. So if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 going along, then the quavers would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So let's try that together. Okay, I'm going to clap a pulse, and we're going to just say out loud and clap together. And it is worth clapping and saying together. We'll put the crotchets in, and then we'll switch to quavers. Okay, so let's give it a go. Here's your pulse. Okay, we'll now add a beat. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And now we're going to count crotchets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now quavers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Fantastic. Well done, everybody. So pulse carries on throughout. Beat is how they are collected into groups of 4 or 3 or 2, depending on the time signature. And we're starting now to look at rhythm, the duration of the notes. So crotchets are worth 1 beat, and quavers are worth half a beat each. Okay, so back to my original slide here. So we've had a discussion about quavers and about crotchets. So this is worth half a beat. This is worth a full beat. As we go up, well, this is worth 2 beats. Okay, in the UK we call it a minim. In America, half note, and here Taktnote or halbe. And apologies again for my German pronunciation, but this is worth 2 beats. All right. So if I bring up my cards from earlier on, let's have a go and seeing if we can't clap some of these rhythms together. And we'll include some of the quavers, some of the crotchets, and maybe some of the minims as well. Okay, so here's our first rhythm that we're going to have a go at clapping together. So I'll give you a pulse and I'll count you in. We're in 4 beats in the bar. So here's the pulse. I'll clap you in. Okay, so we're in after 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Have a go. And again. Okay, after 4, 3, 4. Very nice. So the rhythm should have sounded something like this. So 1, 2, it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let me show you the back of this card as would be displayed to a class if we were here. You can see here how we've represented this rhythm. And I designed these cards some time ago when I was working for the Education Hub here in Bristol. And these have been designed to work with people of all ages, including children. So that's why you might see some sort of kiddie graphics on it. So here we can represent this in vocally as well as by clapping. We can say quick, quick, clap, quick, quick, clap. Say that with me. Ready? And quick, quick, clap. Quick, quick, clap. Excellent. Well done. You see below we've represented as well the do-de-do, do-de-do. This is, for those of you who ever wanted to learn a woodwind instrument and so on, this is just a technique to help you articulate the rhythms at the front of the mouth. So when you put a mouthpiece into your mouth, you can actually do-de-do, do-de-do, and so on. It actually helps with your rhythm there. Let's have a look at another card, not that one, or that one. Or even that one. Where's all my cards? There we go. That's better. Okay, so we know that this note here, this is worth 1 beat. This one is worth 2 beats. And this one is worth 1. So let's have a go at clapping this rhythm. Okay, so I'll give you a pulse. And I'll count you in. 1, 2, clap this for me. And... very good. Let's try it again. After 4, 3, 4. Thank you very much. So, what that should have looked and sounded like is this. Okay? And so it would be clap, hold it, clap, clap, hold it, clap. You see, that second beat in the middle, that second note is worth 2 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Is this making sense, everybody? I'm just having a look at the comments. People are talking about learning international terms in an international choir. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Let's try one more of these. Let me find one that suits. Okay, here's another nice one. Okay, so we're back now to the crotchets and the quavers, or the quarter notes and the eighth notes. All right, so here's your pulse. I'll count you in. 1, 2, clap for me. Off you go. Very nice. Have one more go. Ready? 3, 4. Very good. Well done. So this one is clap, clap, quick, quick, clap. Have a go with me. Ready? 3, 4. Clap, clap, quick, quick, clap. Great job. Thank you, everybody. Okay, how are we doing so far? No problem so far. Good, good, good. Good. This is all good. Okay, so quaver is worth half a beat. Crotchet's worth a full beat. Minim is worth 2 at the top here. This one is called either a semi-breve. Okay, in the UK we call it a semi-breve. It is worth 4 beats. In America it's called a whole note. And in German, ganzer Taktnote. I hope I said that correctly, or at least approximately. Again, we don't call this a whole note because there is one note higher than this, which is a breve, which is worth twice as much. Again, you don't really see that much in music these days. So I'm going to refer to this as a semi-breve. Those of you in the States, in Canada and so on, will have to a little bit of translation on the fly. But this is worth 4 beats. Okay, and if you see this, you know you're going to be holding it usually for a while. Okay, unless the tempo is moving very quickly. So let's just clap this 4 beats together. It is just the one note. So let's clap this. Ready? After 4, here's your pulse. And it literally is just a clap and hold it for the full bar. Okay, and if I can find the card that's associated with this, I did a card. It's literally just you hold it longer. Oh, I've lost it somewhere. But it's literally just hold it longer, hold it longer. Yeah, if you think to yourself, hold it longer, you'll get the right length of time with the rhythm. Okay, now we'll talk about rests in a minute. I want to take us now onto this page here. All right, now you might recognize this rhythm. This is the rhythm that we had at the very, very start of today's session. And I clapped it. And I said to you, some of you will have a go at clapping it and others of you will find this a bit tricky. Well, let's have a look at this now. I'm not going to ask you to clap anything or say or play anything. I'm just going to ask you to use your eyes and to follow the notes along. Now, remember, as I said, the pulse doesn't stop. Okay, it doesn't stop. If you stop the pulse, the music stops. And that's one of the things when you're learning to read music, when you're learning to sight read, play the piano, sing and what have you, one of the things that your teacher will tell you is you must never stop. Okay, if you stop, it's like riding a bike. If you stop, you're going to fall off. So you keep going and you try and keep something going. You get a sense of that pulse going in your head. Okay, and if you find yourself falling behind, you just let that note go. And you are always trying to keep up with where where the beat is, where the pulse is, and where the music is going. Okay, so we'll look at a little visual representation of that in a minute when we look at Onata Lux. But for now, let's just have a look at this. You can see here 4 beats in a bar. So if the pulse went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Think to yourself how you would approach clapping. Let's just look at this first bar here. Okay, so if I clap a pulse, either clap, say, play, sing, however you want to do it. Just this first bar. Here's your pulse. Okay, I'll give you a count in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off you go. How did you get on? Okay, should sound something like this. After 4, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very, very nice. Well done. So we hold it. Okay, and then it's a da, 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 da. Okay, at the end of the bar. Fantastic. So I'm going to go through the rhythm, and what I'll do is I'll count the beats out loud, and I'll clap the rhythm with my hand. And feel free to clap along with me. We'll do this a couple of times. So here's your pulse. Okay, I'm going to clap, and I'm going to say the beats. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Great. Have a go with me. Okay, we're going to do this together. It's this rhythm here, and as I said, the pulse doesn't stop. If you make a mistake, just laugh about it and carry on. Okay, pick up if necessary, because of course our brains work like this. If you make a mistake, you instantly go, oh, but I want to fix the thing that I've just made a mistake on, and at that point you're lost. Okay, when you're playing music, there will be notes that go wrong. Just accept that. Always be thinking the pulse is always moving, and I need to be where the pulse is rather than worrying about the little mistake I made 3 pages ago. Okay, so let's have one more go at clapping this, and then we'll have a look at this Talis. So here we go. Here's your pulse. I'm going to count you in. 1, 2, let's clap together. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And stop. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. So I'm going to get rid of my slides now, and we are confronted here with this wonderful Onata Lux, which we looked at yesterday. Now, you'll notice straight away, those of you who've got your Onata Lux scores, this score looks different to the one we looked at yesterday. The one that we used yesterday was written in double the note values. So all of the single beat notes on our score yesterday were 2 beat notes. Okay, this is just because the original score when it was written used minims rather than crotchets, 2 beat notes instead of crotchets. This is because this piece was written 500 years ago. The rules of music were far less distinct, far less set down in stone. And so this is how things were written down. Now, I've used this version because I just think it's a little bit easier in the context of what we've been talking about today to think about beats being a single beat rather than having to explain what a 6/2 time signature is and so on. So all of the pitches are the same. It'll sound the same, but it's just all the durations are half the length in this score to just make it a little bit more simple. So here, he says simple. Here we have a time signature of 3/2. Okay, 3/2. Now the 2 refers to the duration of the note. Okay, and the 3 is how many in a bar. So we have 3 lots of 2, and so that's effectively 6 beats in a bar. Okay, we have 6 crotchets in a bar, or 3 minims. That's what that means. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this representation here, which is all MIDI instruments. I will play the real thing in a bit, but I'm just going to clap and indicate where the pulse and where the beat is, so you get a sense actually of how this is flowing. And as I said, the pulse continues, and the pulse is represented for us today by this vertical green line, and you'll see it doesn't stop, it just proceeds all the way through. So for those of you learning how to read music, still developing your sight reading and so on, it really helps sometimes to visualize that green line when you're playing, because if you can keep up with it, you'll have gotten over a major stumbling block for most people learning how to sight read. So let's have a little follow along and just watch visually as it moves, and I'm going to indicate, as I say, where the beat is. Okay, I'll take it back to the beginning. Here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 1 and stop. Okay, fab. So all I was doing there, folks, was just counting along in time to the minim time signature here. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and you could hear that the music was adhering to that very, very, very well. Obviously this is a computerized version, so there's no kind of pull or flexibility in the tempo, but you could hear it fitted. Interestingly though, of course, when this music was written, there were no such thing as time signatures. This idea of everybody adhering to the same rhythmic structure, the same beat, wasn't really a thing. So this is really a modern representation of Talis's music. Another way to look at it, given that we've got 6 one beat notes, a group of 6, one way is obviously to group it up into 3 lots of 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and. But another way would be to think of it as perhaps 6 lots of 1. So two lots of 3 even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play all that again. And I know the time signature says 3/2, but I'm going to indicate it as in 6 instead, and just see for you out there, see if this changes the feel of the piece. All right, we're not going to have a beat on the first, second and third minim of the bar. We're going to have a beat on the first beat and then on the 4th crotchet. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if that makes any difference to us. Okay, so from the beginning one more time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so do you see, folks? Just by counting the beats in a different way, and it's all the same notes, but just the way that they've been grouped together, the way we count them, the way we feel them, gives the piece a different character. So if I just take you back here, we can see here actually that Talis has written some of this with a sense of 6. O nata lux de lumine, Jesu redemptor seculi, and so on. So it's grouping it in 3s instead of 2s. So it's just a way to kind of look at how composers put these notes together and give us that sense of pulse, that sense of beat, to help us group it, to help us perform it in a way that makes sense. So speaking of making sense, what I want to do is, before we finish, I want to introduce a couple of interesting concepts. So I'm going to get rid of O Nata Lux for now. It will come back. And just show you my rather basic rhythm here, okay, to bring us together. So how's everybody doing? Charlotte says it's easier counting crotchets. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So now, let's have a look. And people are talking about maths. I don't like maths, but I like music and language, so I don't want music to be like maths. It's not like maths at all, except it's just got some counting and things like that. So here we've got 4/4, okay? 4/4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I press play, those notes will sound. I'm going to change a couple of these. In fact, I'm just going to do a quick bit of copying and pasting. And I'll do the same here as well. Okay, so I've got 4 bars now of crotchets, and they're all Gs. There's this upper G and there's the lower G. Okay, I'm now going to change this note to a quaver, and I think I'll add another one here. And I think I'll add another one there, and there, and another one there, and there. And you see, I'm just going to muddy the waters a little bit. Okay, and I think I'll add in a minim too. I think I'll put one in there. Why not? And I'll put one in at the end here. And you see, all I'm doing, this is completely random at the moment. There's no sense of structure, of pattern, or anything like that. But if we just have that pulse going through, it's going to be extremely boring. So I've just varied the rhythm slightly by putting some quavers in to give us a bit of a 1, 2, and a kind of beat. We've got the minims in as well. So let's have a little listen to this as it stands at the moment. Let's make sure it's not going to blast us out. Good. Okay, so this is our rhythm that we've just made up. Here we go. Okay, already it's starting to get a little bit more interesting. And so why don't we add in just one last thing before we listen to Onata Lux. Let's add in a long note at the end. Okay, and let's add in a few more of these quavers here, and you're going to help me in a minute clap this top line. This is the new home choir rhythm. Okay, so we're going to clap the top line here, folks. All right, to see how much of this has gone in. And then we're going to have a little sing along with, or a little listen to Onata Lux with the 6/4 score up on screen and the choir of me and Anna singing. And just for those of you who've not learned how to read rhythm before, see how you get on with this. Now, what we haven't had time to do this week is look at adding dots, which we'll look at in a future session. But this is just about today, learning to read these basic notes of the quaver, that's the 8th note, the crotchet, which is the quarter note, the minim, which is the half note, and the semi-breve, which is the whole note. Okay, so here's our notes. You don't have to sing it, you just have to clap. All right, so after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh dear, sorry, after all that. One more time from the beginning. Oh, I can't get the stuff. Once again, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. One more time. Same thing. 2, 3, 4. And stop. Well done. Well done, everybody. Okay. So as I said, we have all of this. We've got loads and loads of lovely rhythm cards to share with you over the course of the next few weeks, and lots more interesting information when it comes to learning about things like dots, semi-quavers, and all these other exciting rhythmic aspects. So we're going to listen one more time to Onata Lux, and I'm going to get the score up on screen. Excuse me, had a little bit of an issue there. So we're going to have the choir sing for us again. And if you remember from yesterday, immensely grateful to Anna for singing soprano and saving all of us the joys of me trying to sing at that pitch. So what I'd ask you to do is just follow the score along. Use the one on screen rather than the one I sent you, because we're using all the right note values here. And just watch and just see how it all fits together. Remember, the pulse keeps going all the way through. Follow that vertical line as we proceed through, and let's see how this goes in for those of you that haven't studied it before. Okay, so here we go. Onata Lux. And 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1. Okay, brilliant. Now, that's a really good example of the fact that tempo doesn't necessarily stay the same all the way through. If it did, it would be robotic and artificial. Human music has a flow to it. It has a flexibility. The term, I love this term, is rubato. Rubato. R-U-B-A-T-O. Rubato. And it is the flexible tempo, the stretching, the speeding up and the slowing down when you're approaching important places. I was always taught it, what do you call an Italian with a rubber toe? Rubato. There you are. And just before we finish, Charlotte's got a question. So the beginning is just half a bar's worth. That's a really, really insightful, really good question. You will often find music that starts on an upbeat, and you don't represent the bar leading up to it. You just start with the note that it starts with. The term for that is an anacrusis. A-N-A-C-R-U-S-I-S, anacrusis, and it just means you start the piece with an upbeat. So you don't have a blank sort of 1, 2, 3, oh nata looks. You just come in straight there, and what the conductor will do then is they'll go 1, 2, 3. Oh, nata looks, and bring you in. So there we are. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your time today. Domo arigato, Mr. Rabata, says Julie. There we are. Perfect comment. And you're very, very welcome. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope that's been useful. We'll pick up on that again in a future session. We've got to look at these dots as well. So the dots are where things get really interesting. We also need to talk about things like semiquavers. And then triplets and duplets. There's loads and loads to be said about rhythm, but I hope that's useful. So I will see you all now. If you're not in self-isolation choir, I'll see you on Friday for our fun sing. We are all at sea, so we're going to sing through all our favourite sea shanties and have a really, really good time. There may or may not be an eye patch. We'll see. So otherwise, if you're around for self-isolation choir tonight, it's altos, and we have the wonderful Lift Thine Eyes, and He Watching Over Israel, Slumbers Not Nor Sleeps. It's gorgeous. So if you can join me for that, then do. If you aren't in self-isolation choir and you haven't heard, we're doing a very special event called Lift Thine Eyes, which is a concert which will be at the end of November. At this rate, this country may well be in a circuit breaker lockdown, whatever they're calling it by then. So it's a 3-week project with a concert at the end, singing the very best of self-isolation choir, you know, the Hallelujah chorus, bit of Vivaldi's Gloria Quanta Qualia and so on. Do go and have a look at that. It's $14.95 until the weekend, then it goes up to £20 or $19.95, whatever it is. So if you are interested, get in quick while the price is still low. I'll see you all soon, folks. Have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.